So what happens when Superman dies? Let's find out. Welcome back to the language of kings, and I got a big one for you today because this is for men. This is for ladies. You like, hey, get out of here. If you're a woman, get up out of here. This is a man thing today, and we need to be a little bit vulnerable when we talk about this thing with Cam Newton today. Okay. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then shame on you. You need a spanking. Freaking hit the subscribe button. You know we're trying to get to 10,000 followers, man. And you're just watching the show. You're liking the show. You're commenting down there, but you're not subscribed to the... Do it. Do it, okay? Show some love. I'm here because you're here, all right? Now let's get into this particular story. Cam Newton, you know Cam Newton, ex-NFL quarterback, big boy. And people give him a lot of flack and all this stuff, but Cam was that guy. Cam was that guy in the NFL. Cam was that guy even back in college too. He went to Auburn. You know, we have to forgive him for that, Roll Tide. But he did go to Auburn, and he gave fits to everybody. He was just like heads above everybody else. And when he got to the NFL, he did his thing too as a quarterback, and he was just this dual threat. Cam was, you know, you gotta give it to him. Now he's on doing the podcast type thing, kind of like what I do. He's talking. He's on ESPN too as well. So he's doing some big things, but those NFL contracts are not there. That money is not the same. And Cam says that he's struggling a bit. I'm gonna give you some quotes. Excuse me. This came from Cam Newton because he was interviewed on this show, Special Forces, the World's Toughest Test, where they put you through all these vigorous tests just to see how tough you are. Usually these are celebrity people and all that. Cam Newton is one of those people. I saw him jump on a plane the other day, a helicopter. He's holding on. The dude's so big, he started shaking the freaking helicopter. But anyway, while talking, Cam says this. He says, I'm going into a different phase of my life that's going to require a different form of myself. Deep stuff. Being in the NFL, everybody knows there's a large sum of money that comes to you in a short span of time. And being away from the game for 3 years, those checks don't come in the same. Like, I got 8 kids. Cam Newton says that 8 kids, NFL checks are not there because he's no longer in the NFL, of course. So life is a little different for him. And this is where this whole Superman mindset comes into play. And every man can relate to this thing. Every man can relate to this because there are certain points in your life. And if you haven't been through it yet, you will come to that point where you don't feel like the man that you should be, because it's like you're always, as a man, chasing a ghost. You're always chasing a shadow. You're always trying to get to a point where you think, the point where you think you should be at. And if you're not there, then that's frustration. And usually, most of us men, we take it out on our wives, we take it out on our families, we take it out on everybody in our circle, we take it out on people who come talk to us. Some old lady in the middle of the street comes, how you doing, sir? You just punch the old lady in the face. FBI, open up! I'm kidding about that. Don't do that, okay? But there are frustrations that come with not achieving at the level that you think that you should be achieving at. And every year, here's a little thing for you. Every year, every man around his birthday really starts to negotiate with that monster. Where am I? Am I where I should be? Have I achieved all the things that I should have? How many people am I helping? Am I helping my kids at the level that they should? Am I giving them the gifts that they need? When my wife comes to me and says, oh, I wish that I had this new bed spring. And I'm like, man, how do I get it? I'm not earning what I'm supposed to earn. I'm behind in life. I'm just not where I want to be. Superman is more like Clark Kent. And that's a challenge. Let me read this quote to you too. This is a big one from old Cam. He says, it hurts me knowing that I can't provide like I once did. Newton said in his reality show. It hurts thinking that I'm Superman, but in reality, I'm just a man. End of quote. Listen, every man had said some form or some variation of that particular thing to himself or within himself, myself included. Because we get to those points where we don't think we're enough. We don't think we've gotten to where we should be, and that's a challenge, and that can create a monster within, because now you're overextending yourself. You're working, instead of 8 hours, you're working 12 hours a day. Instead of stopping to rest, you're like, cut your rest out, whatever I need to do in order to get to this point that I think I'm supposed to be at. And I feel like everybody around me is disappointed in me. They may not say it. My wife may not say, hey, you're not cutting it, you're not making it, but this is what I feel that she feels. My kids may not say it, but they may be thinking, why can't daddy get us what we deserve, what we need? We need that particular book. We need those particular clothes. We need those particular shoes. We don't want to eat just regular food. We don't want the spaghetti that looks like a string. We want the spaghetti that when you pour it out, it spells out something on its own. It moves into shape-shifting designs, that kind of spaghetti, that Bill Gates spaghetti. I'm not starting no theories or anything like that, but I'm saying you get what I'm saying. And so for a man, it's a challenge when he goes from being a Superman, a provider that's at a high level, to not having that. And I tell people all the time that as a man, this is important too. As a man, what you provide and give to your family, and the Bible scripture talks about this too, being that men have to provide for their families, but that goes far beyond finances. I'll say that again. How you provide for the people that you love and that you care about goes far beyond finances. Because I know plenty of rich fools. I know plenty of rich people who themselves. You have to, certainly finances is a part of it, right? You want to be able to provide finances for your family? Yes. But you also want to give them provision. You want to give them direction. You want to give them protection. You want to give them the spiritual aspect. You want to give them the word. You want to give tons of things as a responsibility to men that have been given to them. And it can be daunting. You can easily and quickly go from feeling like Superman to just feeling like Clark Kent. But listen, here's what you need to understand as a man. And Cam Newton, this is for you. I know you're probably listening to this show. You need to understand that Clark Kent is just as important as Superman, and that you can't get Superman without getting Clark Kent. And people who don't appreciate you for being Clark Kent cannot fully respect you for being Superman. And that's a big one. Your kids love you regardless. They have an unwavering type of love. It's different. Now, Cam, I need you to come and talk to a king, because there are some things in your life, though, that you have to address. Okay. Now, Cam Newton has multiple baby mothers and kids outside of wedlock, all of that. This is not the video to dive into all of that in detail, but you have to put a lid on it. You have to say, listen, one woman, settle with one woman. If you're the type that says, I'm not the one to settle with one woman, then you were never Superman in the first place. I need you to understand that there's a responsibility that has to come with you and the decisions that you make. I saw the video you had with, the Joy Taylor and the beef with Jason Woodlock. Do we call it beef? I don't know if people call it beef anymore, the pork or whatever. Brother, your mindset around women has to shift, okay? Get more men on the show. Talk to more men. All of that, man. And if you're talking about the relationship space, the narrative, the marriage, all that type of stuff, then you need to get me on the show. And I can share some things with you, man, or you can just hit me up. We can deal with that stuff. But there's a lot of things that happen to men that I think men have to be very, very aware of. Okay. Now I'm telling all men this too as well. Okay. That cape belongs to only you. So if you want to feel like Superman, I understand it, but there's nobody else that can come in and put on your cape. There's nobody else that can come in and put on your crown. That responsibility is just for you. You're the only one that can feel those shoes, that can feel that cape, that can feel that crown. So, take your time, man. The narrative around the speed, That's a false narrative. Don't go chasing that rabbit trying to achieve and be and all of this stuff overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to be responsible for all of the things that tie into being a man, not just the financial part. Like I said, spiritual part, that's free. You can do that right now. Get a book, learn some stuff, all of that. Provision, know where you're going, build a plan. You can share that with your children, with your wife, with your friends, with your family. All that stuff you can do right now. Everything is not about money. And I hope you understand that, my man. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with that, man. I think the video has been long enough, man. Listen, I need you to subscribe to the channel. Hit it. Comment on the video. Hit it. Hit the alert button. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. And then I need you to go over to Instagram and Facebook and Patreon. And I need you to go to Henry and Victoria Dawes. And I need you to follow us there too as well. Much love to you guys, man. Much support. Wish you guys the best. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer. Up, up, and away.